can we get a commotion for the quilt? It's done, and it took me less than 24 hours. Stick around if you want to find out how I finished this thing in less than 24 hours. I had a plan. I had a plan start to finish for this thing, and then, of course, at the end, it completely derailed it. I really think that if I didn't have to completely change my process towards the end of it, that it actually would have taken me a lot less time. But I think that my total finish time for this quilt was, I don't know, probably somewhere around 10 hours. Maybe 12. I'm not really sure. I actually had the intent of timing myself for this entire process, but of course I forgot halfway through. But I think that piecing the entire quilt top took me about around 4 hours from start to finish, and that included cutting the fabric. I think honestly the layout took the longest, which is so funny. Like, the longest out of all of the steps. I just hit my wall. I wanted to do like a checkerboard pattern because the original pattern calls for just solid colors for the middle of the blocks, but I decided to do 2 different colors. So I wanted to do a checkerboard, but I did not have the right number of blocks for that, so that didn't work out. But this is what we ended up deciding on, and I actually really like it a lot. So now I'm just, piecing all of the rows together, or all the blocks together, and then after that I have to piece all the rows together, which I actually brought out the clips for this. I don't know who cut this fabric, but they're fired because everything was all kinds of wonky, but it worked out in the end. It was fine. But the clips definitely came in handy. This was really a lot of fun. Then I decided, so the pattern calls for a scrappy border, and it actually gives you instructions on how to cut all of the fat quarters for the scrappy border. So I was like, well, this is a really busy fabric, so I think that I'm going to, did I say scrappy borders? I meant scrappy binding. This is a really busy fabric, so I'm going to, add borders to it to kind of anchor that in place, so that way with the binding it's not too busy. And then I had this bright idea that I wanted to quilt stars and echo those stars in all of those squares. That didn't work out. Neither did this, like doing swirls on the border, that didn't work out either. Because of, I already posted it, but didn't work out. It'll pop up in a second. So I derailed my entire plan. And what I ended up doing was I just put some Greek keys around the edges, and this is what happened. And I decided I don't like free motion quilting, so I just did some Greek keys, and then I just did the binding, and I call it a day. I didn't do too much quilting on this just because I used fleece for the batting, so I don't think I really needed to do a whole lot of quilting. But it's done, and I love it. It's not perfect, but honestly, I think the best quilts are never perfect, so I don't know. I love it.